and let us all do we can to build a better future.
All right. It's intensifying. The hatred towards third parties and corporate media is about to vilify Dr. Cornel West in a way in which we've seen before, but this time there's a lot more anger and the vile poison that is being spewed out by the establishment towards third parties. I can't urge this message out enough to Green Party voters, to Libertarian voters, independent voters, smaller third parties. You have to redouble your efforts and triple your efforts in order to maintain your said candidate or your group's position in your state. To Dr. Cornel West campaign, corporate media is not your friend, and you have to push back hard. You cannot run a kind campaign. You have to be aggressive and unapologetic. You have to call out the two-party system. And look, I'm going to give the same advice to the libertarians, all right? I believe in the success of third parties. And this right now will be the test, the major test, if third parties can actually get more than 5%, especially at the end of the general election. Ideally, what they need to get is at least double-digit numbers. That's what they need to get to be recognized federally so that they can get federal funding so we can actually have a talk about having more choices for American voters. This is the fight that third parties are going to really need to step up their game. It's no longer relaxing. It's no longer having fun. I remember interviewing a lot of these third-party candidates, especially in the Green Party, where there was a lackluster effort to try and build something, especially after the 2016 general election. And yes, while I am a supporter of third parties, I'm also going to be extremely critical because I've seen this play out so many times, especially in the first years Hardlands Media got started. I had the ideal notion that maybe third parties were about to build their infrastructure up, that maybe they were going to build something strong. That didn't happen. And when the 2020 election cycle came around, it was lackluster and mediocre at best. Now, I say this not to vilify third parties, but to try and give some constructive criticism here. You will never be allowed to be on a debate stage unless you fight for it. You have to go on all independent media to get your voice out there. You have to be willing to speak to all voters, and you cannot be spewing the two-party neoliberal talking points. Now, I do wish all the best to the Green Party, and yes, to the Libertarian Party, and anyone else that's entering into the ring, be they running for the office of presidency, U.S. Senate, U.S. House Representatives, etc. And I understand a lot of us are burnt out by electoral politics, but the one thing that is enraging me about corporate media is they keep on spewing the same stupid talking point that is not based on fact. It's only based on feeling. That a third-party candidate is going to spoil the race for the incumbent or who the media prefers. Now, we've seen this happen with Ross Perot. The Republicans vilified him because Bush Sr. lost. As far as I'm concerned, Ross Perot, I'm sorry people made fun of you for making that vacuum noise. He was correct. You look at that video, yeah, you could kind of laugh, but then all of a sudden, a huge pit will hit your stomach, and you'll be like, oh, wait, he was right about that. Ralph Nader, vilified. But he was giving people another choice. And as far as I'm concerned, at least Ralph Nader had courage, unlike the cuck Bernie Sanders. Dr. Jill Stein, heroically, not once but twice, ran for the office of presidency. But now here we see our friends at BSDNC. BSDNC decide to say that Cornel West and third-party candidates are a spoiler. To which I have to say, I am so glad that corporate media is crying. I hope liberals are crying. I want to drink your tears.
RFK Jr. running as a vaccine-denying Democrat, and Cornel West, with the help of Jill Stein, remember her, running as the Green Party candidate. And to that political Star Wars bar walks no...
Wow, political Star Wars bar. All right. First of all, I like how they're still harping on the fact that Jill Stein cost Hillary Clinton the 2016 election. She didn't. And let's say in an ideal scenario, right, that all the Libertarian voters and all the Green Party voters were going to help out Hill Dog Hillary Clinton. And no, I don't have to be nice to these politicians, and I don't have to say their names right. And yes, I am going to give them demeaning nicknames because these politicians, they don't like us, they don't think about us, and they don't respect us. Henceforth, I encourage all of you and everyone watching this show to not show any of these politicians a shred of respect either. Have they made our lives better? Have they improved it? No, they want to keep on playing partisan politics. So you just push them right back. If all those voters, the Libertarians and Greens in 2016 went to Hillary Clinton, well, it still wouldn't matter because Trump still won the Electoral College. It's a simple fact. 1, 2, 3. And plus, on top of that, vote blue no matter who. Why do you feel like you're entitled to third-party voters? I mean, the whole idea of your candidate is to earn our vote. So, Hillary didn't earn it. Biden didn't earn my vote either. And I got to tell you, I'm not wasting my time in voting Democrat or Republican.
Labels, a self-described centrist organization founded in 2010 to fight rising political polarization. They are now looking to mount a third-party presidential bid in 2024, claiming that polls show that the public is ready for a middle-of-the-road political alternative to the two major parties. And they're bolstering this quest by trying to raise at least $70 million with the goal of hosting a convention in Dallas next April. No Labels and their robust third-party push comes from some folks that you've definitely heard of before, and some who have had their own experience with defeat being snatched from the jaws of victory. RFK Jr.
So, yes, obviously, MSNBC wants to share their little perspective and points of view. I want to pull up this article from Mediaite. Jill Stein is back, failed 2016 Green Party candidate running Cornel West 2024 campaign. Now, I believe she is advising. We talked about this on yesterday's show on Due Dissidence. Now, again, I don't think she's the campaign manager, but here they are, corporate media, Mediaite particularly, deciding to vilify Jill Stein as the person that causes so much pain and suffering. I don't care. I don't care, really. Vote blue no matter who. I don't care. I mean, your horse, your leading guy is a senile old man named Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris, she's not popular. No matter how you spin it, nobody likes her. Okay? Nobody likes Kamala. So Jill Stein, who earned the ire of Democrats when she ran against former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton during the 2016 elections, the Green Party nominee, is now helping Cornel West with his third-party campaign in the 2024 election. According to Bloomberg, West, a former Harvard professor, is working with Stein to mount a challenge against President Joe Biden and the left side of the political aisle. Stein told the outlet that her role within the campaign was to serve as interim coordinator. Very good. I'm happy about that. Now, here's something I find hilarious. During the 2016 election, Stein angered many Democratic pundits who believe she took progressive votes away from Hillary Clinton and helped Donald Trump. Not true. Hillary was just an uninspiring, lackluster, neoliberal corporate candidate. The reason why she lost wasn't because of Russia. I mean, that's been proven now, and everyone now acknowledges that she just ran a piss-poor campaign. Sorry, vote blue no matter who. You can keep on urinating the bed as much as you want, but I mean, that's it. I mean, Hillary was weak. Simple. Again, helping Donald Trump win the presidency in key swing state elections. Who cares? Again, popular vote doesn't mean jack. The Electoral College does. Stein also ran as the Green Party nominee in 2012 against former President Barack Obama and Republican nominee Mitt Romney. Bloomberg reports Stein's current role will include a variety of tasks, including fundraising, campaign management, public communications, until West has infrastructure to operate a traditional campaign. I am happy she is back. I am happy that she's helping out Dr. Cornel West's campaign. I am hoping that they are able to build a strong, robust campaign to make sure that Dr. Cornel West gets on all of the 50 states, and dare I say it, one step further, to potentially be on a national debate stage. That would be a sight to see. And I hope it triggers the vote blue no matter who people, because it's showing everyone now that the silent majority, the 50% of Americans that identify themselves as independent, are actually getting their voices heard. I feel, from my own perspective and my own point of view, and this is just my opinion, that for too long, Democratic voters and Republican voters want to keep on talking the same tired neoliberal talking points from the DNC and RNC, saying that their party cares about America. Neither party cares about America. They're all owned by corporations and big financial interests. You don't have a seat at the table, diehard Republican red voters or vote blue no matter who people. You never did. And there's nothing you can do to convince me otherwise, that somehow you're so also fantastic lawmaker in the U.S. Senate and House has a good plan to help out their fellow Americans. Go to Unusual Whales on Twitter and find out all the wonderful insider trading deals that your favorite representative is doing, your favorite U.S. senator is doing. All what these politicians do is lie to you like you're in a domestic abusive relationship and say, oh, we promise to be better. And then as soon as you're done voting for them, they go around smacking you around, cheating on you, stealing from you. And honestly, if you're a diehard Democratic voter or Republican voter, please explain to me in detail why you believe your said party has America's best interests. But just don't give me the same tired excuse of freedom or they care about these issues. Really explain to me in detail what your political party has done. I want to see it. And why voting third party is so bad. Continuing on, West, a longtime progressive activist, supported Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Bernie Sanders, who's a cuck and went ahead and endorsed Joe Biden during the 2016 and 2020 Democratic presidential primaries. Earlier this month, he announced his candidacy with the People's Party, but left to seek the nomination for the Green Party. He has centered his campaign around justice, equality, as well as fighting neo-fascism and neoliberalism, as he should. As he should. And already, we're seeing some interesting numbers. Emerson College Polling, national poll, right now, in a 2024 general election matchup, as it stands right now. And again, it's a bit of a tie, and it tells me that if it comes down to Joe Biden and Donald Trump, if it's just those two and there's no third-party choice, it's a near tie. Add in a third-party candidate, however, and we see Dr. Cornel West getting that coveted 6%. Now, voters want someone else or undecided, and these two groups will be able to make or break. Now, again, Donald Trump looks like he's in the lead, and of course, vote blue no matter who. People will say, see, it's going to help Trump. Well, I can't help it if Joe Biden is so weak and that nothing fundamentally changed. In fact, things got worse. What this shows me is that voters, especially who would probably vote Democrat, are uninspired by Joe Biden. Now, again, Donald Trump, probably the last person who should become president. But as far as I'm concerned, it shows me how weak Biden truly is on the issues. And that in all reality, again, comparison to the one up here, to the one down here, 40% to 41%, that's a near tie. Now, I can't help it if Joe Biden can't inspire voters, especially on the left, to go for him. But I am encouraged by what I see here. Yes, encouraged. I'm going to say that again to the vote blue no matter who people, because I think for too long, you have been abusing your power and your influence on social media. That's right. I'm calling out all the pundits who say we got to vote for Biden or vote Democrat to stop Trump. No. For too long, you've been spewing out the false narrative that we got to vote Democrat, hold their feet to the fire, and things will get better. That hasn't worked. That's a lie. You're lying to people. You're wasting our time. You're wasting my time. And so if Trump were to win, fine. But that's a Democrat's fault for having a weak candidate. It's not my fault. The DNC is the one that wants to, have old man Joe Biden and the cackling clown Kamala Harris as your standard. You want them? Fine. But I'm not going to give you my vote. I'm not going to give you my respect. And I encourage people to consider voting third party, to consider voting independent. We have to break away from the two-party system. And the only way we could do it is now. We should have started building this movement after 2016, but the ink is already dry. But we can start doing it now. We don't owe the DNC or the RNC our support. It's time for another choice, and it's time to change this political system for the better. Break away from it.